WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. I say mostly cloudy. Over on the west side of the state, we're looking at some sun. We'll talk about all of that in just a moment. Hopefully you had a nice weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Really not all that bad as far as the weather goes. Temperatures warmed up rather nicely, and especially yesterday. We had some brilliant sunshine out there and very light wind. It was just an absolutely gorgeous day. And quite frankly, this morning, with all the fog and the trees, the way they were kind of laden and glistening this morning, not all that bad of a morning. Earlier, if you had to do a little traveling, it was slick out there. Matthew Lester is joining me here at Radio Center. And Matthew, right now, have we hit freezing yet?
Well, over at the airport, it's cloudy at 29. Over in Midland, it's cloudy at 28. Here at Radio Center, it's foggy at 30. We have northeast winds at 6 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.15, and it's rising.
Over on the west side of the state, as we said, there is sun, and as a result, temperatures warming up rather nicely over in that part of the state. Looking at conditions in northern Michigan, we're seeing a lot more in the way of clouds as well, other than Grayling. Grayling right now is reporting sunny skies. Their temperature is at 31. We do have a high pressure system over the Tennessee Valley and also another one over New England. As a result, those two working together keeping us in a fairly calm mode as of right now. And it looks as though for the next few days, we're not going to be getting away from this mode that we're in right now. For the most part, we're looking at temperatures continuing to be quite a bit above average for this time of the year. We're also looking at not much in the way of precipitation. Mornings, we'll see some fog around, but again, we're not looking at any kind of nasty road conditions, any kind of storm systems, just not much going on for a good part of the eastern half of the continental United States. Now, over on the west side of the Mississippi, things are a little bit different. And as many of you have heard, the national media talking about severe weather in terms of heavy downpours of rain, flooding, strong gusty winds, almost hurricane force in some areas along the California coastline. All of that is going to be continuing over the next few days. Varying amounts of precipitation there. Evidently, Mother Nature has decided to try to make up for all of the drought-like conditions we saw in the western third, anyway, of the continental United States over the past few years. Unfortunately, they're getting a lot of it back in one fell swoop, although last year they picked up quite a bit, and now they're seeing the reservoirs pretty well peaking out in some areas of that part of the country. For us, what are we looking at? We're looking at cloudy skies. We should see some sun as we go into the afternoon, and as a result, our temperature will take a pretty big leap. We're looking at temperatures right around 29, 30 degrees. We're keeping our fingers crossed, but by the time the day is all done, we should be real close to 40 for a high. And then we're looking at mostly clear skies tonight. As a result, that's going to let all of the warmer air up into the atmosphere. We'll look for a low tonight of right around 27, 28. Sun will set this evening at 5:50. It'll rise tomorrow morning, I should say 5:53. Will rise tomorrow morning at 7:47. And then during the day tomorrow, a mix of clouds and sun. 44 is our projected high. 30 is going to be our projected low for tomorrow. We're going to see a northeast breeze today, and for the most part, a southeast breeze tomorrow, becoming a little bit more southerly tomorrow night. Then on Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, a little bit warmer, 46 for a high. I think we're a little conservative there. Don't be surprised if we press the record for Wednesday. Wednesday's record is 49, and that was set back in 2009. I don't know if we're going to tie it. I don't think we're going to break it, simply because we're going to be looking at mostly cloudy skies. At least that's what the forecast is looking at right now. A low of 36 on Wednesday night. Then on Thursday, we're going to be looking at a mix of sun and clouds. Our projected high temperature for Thursday will be 55. And if that's the case, that will tie the record of 55 for a February the 7th. I should say February the 8th. That's Thursday we're talking about. That was set back in 1937. Now, Friday, we're looking at a pretty nice day once again. The record high on Friday is 53, and that was set back in 1925. And we're looking at breaking the record on Friday. We're going to have some shower activity around. Then the activity will kind of taper off for the weekend with mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures around 42, 43 degrees for Saturday and for Sunday. So that in a nutshell, Matthew, is what the weather is all about. Incidentally, the high temperature a year ago today was 39. The low was 28. We had no precipitation to talk about. The record amount of snowfall on this date is set back in 2014, where we had 4 inches of snow. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. We're going to touch base with Steve Anderson from Baird & Company in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to remind the folks, the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Legendary Tree Care. Remember, you need some tree trimming or you need a tree removed. Well, you need Legendary Tree Care. No job is too big, no job is too small. They are fully licensed and insured. And if you got a big project, not a problem. They can take care of that for you too. LegendaryTreeCare.com for more information or like them on Facebook. They're there when you need them. Before we get to the markets in Chicago, let's talk about the markets in New York. Steve Anderson, good morning. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Hey, not too bad. You had a nice weekend, did you?
I did indeed.
And now it's back at it. What are the markets in New York doing right now?
Well, right now we've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average down just about 350, putting it at 38,304. Volume's 285 million shares. The NASDAQ is down by 90 at 15,539. And the volume there is 365 million shares.
And the tip of the day, what do you think, Steve?
If you spend too much time looking at which direction the arrow is going without paying attention to the level that the market is at, you can get yourself pretty confused because it was not, I guess, all that long ago in, people years that market down 350 was an alarming amount. It's really not anymore. And same, NASDAQ, look at the levels that we are at. Those are rather unheard of levels. So instead of spending too much time looking at what the indices say, take a look at what your portfolio is telling you. That will tell you better than anything. Number one, if you're allocated to the proper sectors and amounts, and secondly, it'll keep you focused away from big numbers like that.
Yeah, those big numbers. The bigger those numbers are, 100 here when the market was what it was 10 years ago is practically nothing today.
Correct.
So for more information on how to get a proper perspective on things, how do we get a hold of you, Steve?
Well, you can call us right at Baird and Company in Saginaw, where the telephone number is 989-790-5724. You can also reach our Midland office at 989-839-9035, or you can look us up and send us a question on the web at rwbaird, that's BAIRD.com, and then just look for the branch or the person you want to talk to.
You made me feel really happy right now because I'm not the only one that has that Hilliard slip off the tip of the tongue every once in a while.
Well, it can happen.
Yes, it does. And First of Michigan.
I try to make sure it doesn't, but and of course you had to hear it and point it out.
Well, there's a lot of folks been listening to you for a long, long time, and but they know it's Baird and Company now. So for more information, that's the direction to go.
Absolutely.
Steve Anderson, you have a great day. Okay.
I will. You do the same.
Will do. Steve Anderson over at Baird and Company. Let's check the markets and see what's going on today, starting off the new week with Gary Kaufman at Star of the West. Gary, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Terry. I'm doing well. Thank you.
You had a nice weekend too, I trust.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. Very nice weekend.
And hopefully the traders did too.
Well, they gave us a couple positives this morning, so apparently they did. So,
yeah, I'll take it, especially in that soybean pit, because the soys were having a tough day all week long.
Yeah, last week soybeans were down 21 cents for the week, Terry, and and futures came to seek lower. If we would happen to close lower today, we would be the third consecutive day continuing from last week. But soybeans are trading at the lowest level since June now, and it's like we mentioned before, we're getting some pressure from various chart signals, and Brazil is in their soy harvest. We got some fund selling going on, so right now they're saying Brazil's soy harvest is about 16% complete. So, but yeah, U.S. soybean demand's been pretty sluggish, let's say the least. Last week we seen export sales at 6 million bushels. And, putting the total sales at 19% lower than a year ago. So, yeah, not good news on the demand front for sure. So,
I thought it was kind of interesting. Over the weekend, I read an article talking about the soybeans in South America. And supposedly, according to that article, Brazil hadn't really sold very much because of the weather, they said. Now, all of a sudden, they're selling at harvest. And on top of all of that, China has been backing away, they say, from buying beans, not only from us, but also Brazil. And they're looking to Argentina because they claim, as far as Brazil goes in Argentina, Argentinian soybeans are better quality than Brazil.
Yeah, you wonder if there's some weather issues or quality issues with the Brazilian beans, Terry. You bring up a very good point. Thursday we're going to get another WASDE report, and there's some chatter going on, or it looks like we may cut the Brazilian production because of, like you just said, some weather issues and maybe potentially some quality issues for sure. So.
Yeah, and I know that we did drop down through the what is it, the long-term chart support, $12.
Yeah, 12. Yeah, we've been pushing up to $12, and we kind of broke through it here. So, it's just, on Friday, what that happened, and we're kind of, I don't know, we've come back from the lows. I mean, we're up 15 cents off the low, and we're actually trading positive right now. So that's maybe a good sign that the lows are in, Terry. We'll see.
Well, you better read them right now before something else happens.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, right now we got actually cash wheat down 7, Terry, at 568 on the white, 478 on the red. Crop also down 7 at 601 on the white, 521 on the red. Cash corn up 2 at 365. New crop up 2 at 414. Cash soybeans up a nickel at 1109, and new crop was called up 4, Terry, at 1095.
You have a great day, Gary. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Terry. You as well.
All righty. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what the markets are doing. Doug Klein has the latest for us of what's happening, not only with the ag futures, but some of the related issues. Market report brought to you by Thumb Bank, serving the needs of agriculture for well over 125 years. And now they've got 13 locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. And by Schaefer and Beerline. They've got those 1500s, whether it's a 2023 heavy duty or the 2024s, they've got them. And now is the time that if you want a new Ram 1500, a Ram heavy duty pickup, a ProMaster van, or a Ram commercial truck, and you want to buy with confidence from a business link dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is, now is the time to go to Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth, where family and service sells cars. Doug Klein, good morning.
Well, good morning.
What are we looking at now?
Well, the dollar's higher today, 104.53. That's not good. Rates are higher today. The Fed talked over the weekend, Powell, and he's really pushing back on these expectations of 5 and 6 interest rate cuts for the next year, really pushing back on that. So that's kind of got, the financial markets in a little bit of a sour mood. Caterpillar had good earnings. They were up $20 this morning. Now they're up 5. So I don't know. It's this AI trading makes it fast and furious, and then furious and fast, and it makes your head spin. Nvidia was up 33 points this morning on some upgrade, and now it's up about 21. So like I said, it's fast and furious. And the money supply, that's going to be something people want to watch that are into paying attention. Down 3.5% in the last, I'm going to say 2 or 3 months. So that's a big thing. The M2 money supply, we get $21.5 trillion was the peak, and now around $20.5 trillion. And things like that happen around depressions and recessions and market corrections. So just so you're aware, what's going on out there and who's pulling the strings out there. Yeah, right. The word nefarious comes to mind. I just don't know. I have to look that one up. But anyway,
yeah.
Here are your numbers. The March corn is 4.44 3/4, up 2 cents. July corn 4.63 3/4, up 1 1/4. March soybeans 11.93 up 5 cents. July soybeans 12.12, up 3 3/4. March wheat is 591.5, down 8 1/4, and July wheat 605.5, down 7 1/2. Crude oil pretty steady, 72.15, down 13 cents. Heating oil is 267 3/4, that's up 1 3/4 cents. Gasoline is 215.84, up a penny. Natural gas 205 3/4 cents, that is down 2 cents. Over to currencies. Canadian dollar. US dollar buys $1.3338 Canadian. That's up 78 ticks. The dollar buys 148.84 yen. That's up 47 ticks. The euro's at 107.29, down 55 ticks. The dollar's at 104.55, up 63 ticks. Gold, silver, and all the precious metals kind of taking a hit today on the stronger dollar. So gold is at $20.20. It's down $15.90. Silver's $22.38, down 42 cents. And platinum's at $898.20, down $3.40.
You have a great day, Doug. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Yep.
Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Kind of a interesting program coming up here on Thursday and Friday over at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. The Great Lakes Regional Dairy Conference will be held. Along with us right now, we have Ethan Haywood. He's on the executive committee of the event, the Great Lakes Regional Dairy Conference. Ethan, good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Hey, good morning. The sun is shining here in Southwest Michigan, so we're having a very good February day.
Oh, you had to rub it in, didn't you, Ethan? Ethan, tell us a little bit about the conference. What's going to happen?
Yeah, we're very excited this year to be back at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. We have a very large variety of topics that range from small breakout sessions where you can have more one-on-one interaction with people presenting to some larger groups. And we really have worked our hardest to bring in some industry experts from all over the world to really cover a very diverse group of topics that we think applies to absolutely anyone in the dairy industry.
Go ahead.
On Thursday, just to run through a few of the topics that we have, we'll be talking about a hot topic, some solar, and how we can do it without giving up farmland. Topics like cow health, the dairy markets and policy outlooks, labor management, crop and feed management, nutrition, sustainability, and then we'll even have some sessions in the PM for herdspersons. If you're working at a dairy, what can we do to make that job better for you? And then on Friday, we go through even more topics: antibiotic usage, animal reproduction, cow health, calf health, and one I'm excited about, succession planning with Ron Hansen, which he's just such a great presenter.
You know, it sounds like you've got a lot of different topics that fit just about anybody and anything that has anything to do, first of all, with farming, but more importantly, with the dairy industry, because the dairy industry is growing here in Michigan, isn't it?
Right, absolutely. And we're trying to get more and more people, whether you're off a farm, from a dairy farm, from another type of agriculture, or completely breaking into agriculture, topics at varying levels that can be useful to you and help you along your career path or help you with your business.
So if we do want a little bit better idea of all the different topics that are going to be going on, is there a website that we can go to and check it out?
Yeah, there's a really nice schedule on glrdc.org. Discusses all the topics as well as who is presenting those topics, where they're from. We have a range of veterinarians, researchers, business owners, and progressive farmers from here in Michigan and other states. You can find all of that information on glrdc.org.
Ethan Haywood, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We'll see you on Thursday, okay?
That sounds great. We're looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Ethan Haywood, who's on the executive committee of the Great Lakes Regional Dairy Conference. Matthew, who do we have on deck?
Up next, we have Jerry Samolsky from the Bay Landscape and Garden Center.
Jerry Samolsky, good morning. How are you?
Wonderful, Terry.
Well, it looks like, and I've got my fingers crossed that the forecast is going to be right. I think we're pretty much done with temperatures, nighttime temperatures in the single digits.
Well, that's amazing. We only had a few of them all season long, so that's a really good thing. Our plants should all come through very good this year. Terry, we talk about pruning a lot this time of year, and I think people kind of think, okay, yeah, prune, sure, what? Prune? So I think in the next couple of days, let's talk a little bit about what that really means. So when you have trees, you want to limb those lower branches up. And it might take a ladder, or it might take a little bit higher if it's a bigger tree. If it's too high, you're probably best just to call somebody. But, limbing those branches up so you don't hit your head on the lawnmower and whatnot, you should take the entire branch off. Don't cut it halfway up as high as you can reach. Go up to a ladder and take it to its next union. And then when you're done with that, look and say, geez, well, there's only one twig that goes straight out. Maybe then that one should come right off at the trunk. And so typically we want to keep those branches up on larger trees 8, 10, 12 feet tall. So at some point you might need some help by limbing it up. But for the smaller, younger trees as big as your arm, those you can probably get yourself and get those you probably want to have at least 6 feet up, if not 8 feet. So living branches up on trees are very important, and that can be done now.
Good tips. Jerry Samalski, we'll talk to you again tomorrow, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Matthew, who do we have on the line now?
Up next, we have Vic Hupfer from Freeland Bean and Grain. Mr. Vic, how are you doing?
Doing well.
Good. Hey, Vic, gotta look at it. It doesn't look like we're going to have much frost, if any frost, in the ground anymore.
No, we don't. That does a lot of things, especially when you come out of a wet year. It could cause a lot of issues with water being when they work the ground wet in the fall, that chisel plow layer that's down there, that frost will tend to break that chisel plow layer up and allow water to permeate down. It can cause a lot of different issues. It also can limit how the soil comes out in the spring, the amount of biology that's working when it starts. We have a product that we sell a lot of from Sure Crop Fertilizers called Humate. I'm recommending my customers to use that pretty much on almost every acre, just because what it does, it breaks up that soil, and it does it in a way where it gets that biology started, gets things moving, gets things heading in the right direction, and will make that root zone work better and allow the water fermentation up and down to work better.
Especially when we've got the clay soils like we've got.
Yes, and that's where, and we're working with a lot heavier of equipment than we used to, and that heavy equipment tends to pack the ground. Outside of that, the only thing I can tell people with us getting closer and closer to planting season, the thing to keep in mind is that we got to start filling with fertilizer at some point, so we have fertilizer. If we don't buy fertilizer, the terminals don't fill, and we could get into a bind with prices going up, and we want to alleviate that problem. We've been taking in several levels of fertilizer. Unfortunately, that's started to get a little bit more pricey than we were, not where it's terribly different, but we are starting to see some increases on fertilizer prices just to keep growers mindful of that.
Good advice. Vic Hupfer, always good to talk. You take care. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
You bet, Terry. Thank you.
You bet. Vic Hupfer over at Freeland Bean and Grain. We'll be right back. Do you have a yield monitor in your combine? Do you print off a pretty picture every year, but you don't know what to do with it? Why don't you have PC Ag Solutions analyze your data to help you make profitable decisions for the upcoming season? We can help you analyze your data from your planter, sprayer, or combine and compare it to your soil types and nutrient availability. Anything from the planting date to your speed, population, and variety to elevation, drainage, and in-season applications. We can help you make the most profitable decision on your farm. Call us today, 989-868-4444.
The rugged, reliable, affordable Workmaster Compact Tractor is now available in 25 horsepower. Ellen's Equipment in McBain, Ithaca, and Beale City introduces the Workmaster 25 from New Holland. It's made to last with a big tractor backbone, heavy-duty internal components, and a fuel-saving 3-cylinder engine. You'll enjoy comfortable seating, great visibility, and best of all, a price that's easy on the wallet. Learn more about the Workmaster 25 today at Ellen's Equipment in McBain, Ithaca, and Beale City.
Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we conclude our program with a playing of our national anthem.